Hello everyone, Mr. Spooks here. Before we start, take a second to tell me where you're watching from and what time it is there. It's always incredible to see how many different places these stories reach. An Indonesian creator known as RM Creator says he was hiking alone when darkness suddenly caught up with him. With nothing but a flashlight, he slowly searches the bamboo around him. For several seconds, there is nothing there. Did you see it? A pale, human-like shape can be seen standing behind the brush, almost completely hidden by the bamboo. The shape never appears to move, and the hiker never gets close enough to find out what it is. So is this only a pale object caught in the undergrowth, or was something watching the lone hiker from deep inside the forest? This disturbing video was uploaded by an Indonesian news account after something strange was reportedly seen beside a road in Pasir Ruin. The footage shows several people gathered around a truck, but none of them seem to notice what appears to be watching from across the road. Did you see it? A dark, human-like figure appears to be standing completely motionless, almost as if it is silently watching the people nearby. Even after the motorcycle passes, the figure appears to remain in the exact same position. Some viewers believe it could simply be a mark or poster on the concrete, but others are convinced that the camera captured a ghostly figure standing unseen across the road. So was this nothing more than an eerie illusion, or was something paranormal watching them from the darkness? This strange security camera video was posted by Indonesian creator Anto Gomez. The camera watches over an empty corridor, but pay close attention to the small roof beneath the arrow. Did you see it? At the edge of the awning, a small, dark shape suddenly rises from behind the roof, almost like a head peeking over the edge. Seconds earlier, there was nothing there, but after appearing, the shape continues to linger in the exact same place. It might simply be a cat or another small animal sitting on the roof, but from this angle, it looks disturbingly like something quietly watching the corridor below. So, is this only a small animal hidden by the poor quality footage? Or did the camera capture something paranormal peeking into view? This disturbing video was uploaded by Indonesian TikTok user Nova Fitri. Late one night, she began recording outside her roadside food stall after the lights had been switched off. Did you see it? Watch the center of the dark glass. As the camera passes the stall, a pale face can be seen inside. It almost looks like a woman silently staring out from behind the empty display. After viewers noticed it, the uploader returned and recorded the same stall with all the lights turned on. With the lights on, there is no person standing in that spot. Dark glass can easily create strange reflections, but was this only the person holding the camera, or was something else looking out from inside the stall? The Sun shared this eerie CCTV footage from the Philippines, where something strange was recorded crossing a busy road. At first, everything appears completely normal.
Watch again.
The human-shaped figure moves between the passing vehicles, yet none of the drivers appear to slow down or even notice it. But according to the video, that wasn't the end of it. 13 hours later, another camera captured this.
A tall, shadow-like shape can be seen near the entrance.
The second shape could simply be a reflection on the CCTV monitor. But if it isn't, what appeared at the same location twice in one day, a camera illusion, or something paranormal? You decide. A passenger records through the window of a moving train as it passes a dim station. But for less than half a second, something human-shaped appears on the platform. The footage was uploaded by TikTok user Paulo. The uploader says the recording was made while passing Chambri Station, a location described in the caption as the ghost station. He asks viewers whether what appeared could have been a hologram or part of the station itself. For most of the journey, the camera captures only blurred walls, lights, and station advertisements. But as the train passes one of the brighter sections of the platform, a strange figure suddenly comes into view.
Fíjate bien, ¿eh? Tú no pareces muy vale.
Did you see it? Right there, a human-shaped figure appears to be standing completely still on the platform. The shape is visible for only a few frames. It appears to have a dark upper body and a pale lower section, almost like a person standing beside the wall. In slow motion, the figure does not appear to run away or suddenly disappear. Instead, the moving train simply carries the camera past it until a pillar blocks it from view. The figure shifts across the frame at almost the same rate as the wall and the pillar around it. That suggests it may have been standing on the platform rather than moving independently inside the train's reflection. It could have been a visitor, an employee, a mannequin, or some kind of display. The moving train, dirty glass, and heavy motion blur may simply have made an ordinary person look far more ghostly. But because the train never stops, and the figure is visible for only a fraction of a second, the clip offers only one fleeting glimpse. So, was this simply someone standing at Chambéry Station? Or something placed there to make the so-called ghost station live up to its name? This bizarre recording was shared by the TikTok account Scary Things, and allegedly came from a wildlife camera somewhere in Brazil. The clip begins with a pale figure already inside the frame, moving slowly along the edge of a dark clearing. Whatever it is, its proportions look extremely unusual. The figure travels on all fours, but its long front limbs, raised hips, and narrow body make its movement look disturbingly human. In slow motion, it appears to place its weight onto two long front limbs before dragging or stepping the rest of its body forward. No clear tail can be seen, and its exact size is impossible to judge. It never turns toward the camera or reacts to being recorded. It simply continues across the clearing and disappears beyond the right side. The poor image quality may be making an ordinary subject appear much stranger than it really is. A person crawling, an animal distorted by infrared light, or a staged performance could all explain the recording. But the figure's almost human posture and the slow, unnatural way it moves across the darkness make this footage difficult to forget. So, is this an unidentified animal caught by a trail camera? Or merely someone creating the perfect creature video? A woman was at her friend's house, casually preparing food in the kitchen, when the home security camera captured something strange. At first, everything seemed normal, just two friends talking, moving around the kitchen, and making food. But then, something happened behind them.
What the?
While the two women are talking, one of them opens the fridge, and suddenly, one of the overhead cabinet doors swings open by itself. Both women immediately notice it and become startled, clearly confused by what just happened. There is no one near the cabinet, no visible hand, no obvious reason for it to open. Now, it is possible that the force from opening the fridge somehow caused the cabinet to move. But according to the woman, the kitchen has always felt different from the rest of the house. She says that whenever she is alone in that area, there is a strange atmosphere, almost like something is nearby. And a few nights later, while she was fast asleep, she woke up the next morning to a motion detection alert from the kitchen camera. When she checked the footage, she saw this. If you look near the fridge, a white figure suddenly appears right in front of it. Then it quickly moves across to the right before disappearing. The way it moves almost makes it look like it floats through the kitchen and vanishes into the wall. After seeing this, the woman says she became afraid to enter the kitchen alone at night. So what do you think? Was this just a camera glitch, a strange reflection, or did the security camera capture something paranormal inside the kitchen? Let me know your thoughts. A dog walks normally through this yard at night, but something else crosses the camera far faster. The recording was posted to Reddit by a user named 210142. The uploader asked viewers for an explanation, adding that the footage could not have been sped up because their dog moves at a completely normal pace. For most of the recording, the yard remains completely still. Then the family dog enters near the parked car and begins walking past the tree.
Watch the lower part of the image just in front of the dog. A large shadow-like blur suddenly enters the foreground, sweeps across the camera, and disappears near the right side in less than 2 seconds. When slowed down, the object has no clearly visible face or solid outline. Instead, it stretches and changes shape as it passes extremely close to the camera. The dog does move normally, but the two subjects are not the same distance from the camera. The dog is across the yard, while the blur may be directly in front of the lens. An insect, spider, loose strand of web, or another small object close to the lens could appear enormous compared with everything in the yard. Low-light motion blur could then stretch it into this dark, almost human-looking shape. The recording never shows the object standing in the yard, touching the ground, or forming a recognizable body. It only appears as a fast, heavily blurred shape crossing the camera's immediate foreground. So, was this something unexplained racing through the yard, or simply a tiny object passing much closer to the camera than it appears? What began as two glowing eyes in the Appalachian woods soon turned into whispers, unexplained figures, and something that may have followed a young woman back home. The recordings were uploaded by TikTok user It's Just Me B, who presents the videos as an ongoing Appalachian horror series. The first recording begins during daylight, when the group repeatedly calls out towards something they believe may be hiding in the woods. Two bright points appear between the trees, evenly spaced like a pair of eyes watching from the darkness. The most likely explanation is animal eyeshine reflecting the camera light. But it was only the beginning. Several months later, the creator searches a wooden enclosure after viewers suggest that something may have been hiding inside. Nothing unusual is visible, but just before she abruptly turns the camera, a faint sound can be heard near the wire partition. The sound resembles a soft whisper.
Although the recording is far too unclear to confidently identify any words, it could easily be wind, an animal, or someone standing outside the frame. 4 days later, another late-night walk produces the clearest and most disturbing moment in the series.
I'm scared. Jacob, I hate you.
The light's gonna die. Oh, hell no. No, it's falling off the tree. Whatever you gotta tell yourself, son. Give me the gun.
As the flashlight crosses the clearing, a pale shape appears low beside the structure and seems to move sideways into the trees.
I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm scared.
Slowed down, it appears unusually pale and close to the ground, but the image is too blurred to determine whether it is a person, an animal, or something deliberately placed there. In the next upload, the caption claims one of the creator's friends disappeared for hours during a night hike. A motionless figure wearing blue can be seen standing deeper in the woods. It does not turn, respond, or visibly react as the camera approaches. However, someone wearing similar colors is already walking with the group earlier in the video. The figure may simply be the same person farther ahead. The story later moves back to the creator's home, where a security camera records the empty porch during the night. Twice, the image suddenly flickers and shifts, almost as though the camera has been struck. Yet nothing visible enters the frame. A loose mounting point, automatic exposure, digital stabilization, or editing could all create the same effect. In the final upload, the creator claims that after she stopped responding, something began calling from the woods outside her home. Several faint voice-like calls can be heard in the distance, although none are clear enough to identify as actual words. The account describes its videos as entertainment, and the uploads unfold like a carefully planned horror story. Companions positioned off-camera, edited audio, or staged scenes could explain every event. But whether real or created for the camera, the pale shape moving beside the Appalachian woods is still deeply unsettling. This next scary video comes from TikToker Horda Newt, whose country house was supposed to be a peaceful escape from city life. A quiet place, no traffic, no noise, no stress. But that peace did not last long. According to him, something inside or around the house began tormenting him, and he believes it may be poltergeist activity. At first, even his own family thought he was imagining things. So to prove he was not going crazy, he started recording the strange knocking sounds coming from his door. And honestly, he probably should have kept that door locked. At first, it almost seemed like someone was messing with him, especially after he found strange footprints on the ground outside. But opening the door in the middle of the night turned out to be a terrible idea, because whatever was out there did not just knock 3 times and leave. It seems like something finally found a way inside, and from that moment on, his quiet countryside break became a full-on nightmare.
Now, every night feels like a ghost stakeout. He goes to bed with a flashlight in one hand and his phone in the other, ready to record the smallest sound. Even a faint creak is enough to make him jump. Night after night, he is jolted awake by strange disturbances around the house. And then, this happens. So let's look at what was captured. A brush moves against the door. That feels like classic poltergeist behavior. The cat freezes, staring into an empty corner, and animals always seem to notice things before humans do. Then there is the knife on the floor. Now, to be fair, that one could have been the cat. But the brush moving by itself, that is much harder to explain. A skeptic might say these are just strange coincidences, but the way everything happens feels too deliberate. At some point, it stops feeling like random activity and starts feeling like a message. But what is it trying to say? Let us know your theories in the comments. Late at night, a security camera inside an empty school records something disturbing. First, a locker suddenly opens. Then, an object is violently thrown across the corridor. The footage was later reposted to Reddit by a user named David1125. The video reportedly comes from Deer Park CBS, a school in Cork, Ireland. The timestamp places the recording at approximately 3 in the morning, when the hallway appears to be completely empty. The activity begins at the far end of the hallway, where a door appears to move and then slam without anyone visibly standing nearby. A short time later, the lockers themselves appear to rock back and forth, as though something is pushing them from behind. But then the activity becomes much more aggressive. One locker suddenly opens, and several objects are thrown out onto the floor. Finally, the warning sign in the foreground suddenly tips forward, but instead of simply falling in place, it flips over and slides several feet across the floor. The camera never shows a person entering the hallway. By the end of the recording, papers are scattered across the floor, and the warning sign has been knocked completely out of position. However, there are reasons to question the footage. The movements could have been created with thin wires, off-camera mechanisms, or digital editing. Critics also identified visual inconsistencies in the recording, and the video was released shortly before a Halloween event being held by the school. 4 separate disturbances occur inside the same empty corridor: a moving door, shaking lockers, objects thrown onto the floor, and a sign sent sliding across the hallway. So did Deer Park CBS capture genuine poltergeist activity, or was this simply a very well-planned Halloween prank?